Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about dynamic landing page strategy, specifically an advanced strategy where we talk about changing not just the headline on a landing page, which a lot of you guys might think what dynamic landing pages are about, which, to be fair, 95% of people think that dynamic landing pages are about. This goes way beyond and can go into changing the body text of a landing page to suit why a person would be a good candidate for a certain product or service specifically. I'm going to talk about the strategy where we did this in the debt consolidation space so you can see exactly what I'm talking about and how this can be deployed for a business like yours. To be fair, this won't work for every single business out there, but it will work. In the businesses where it will work, it really, really works, okay? Namely, what you're going to be able to do with your landing page is customize everything on your landing page so it is set up like a mail merge or a letter that you send out to a prospect to where that prospect is going to get something that while they read the text on the page is customized in 3, 4, 5 different places. When it comes to sending physical letters out in the mail, like direct mail, that is the key way in order to get things to work. To where that mail piece and the cost of what it costs to send it out, actually what it takes for it to work. As applied to online advertising, in the online advertising world, it will actually make anything that normally wouldn't work does work a hell of a lot better, applying that same concept. So that in the situation, that a person has, for instance, had a bankruptcy, you could put in your body text where it says, why the person, hello, prospect, when you just came about having a blank bankruptcy, when a person may or may not have a bankruptcy and being able to say bankruptcy there, that will typically increase the response rate of a letter, and in this case, a landing page, 3 to 10 times by understanding exactly what it is that that person cares about and their situation is and being able to say it on an individual user level like that. And that's exactly the strategy I'm going to talk about in today's video as it comes to dynamic landing pages specifically. So, without further ado, I'll get into what the strategy is, what it's like, how to actually execute it for your business, and then also how well it actually does work to generate leads/sales. So most people, when talking about, as I mentioned at the start of this video, about dynamic landing pages, they're just talking about customizing the headline on a landing page each time. Namely, if a person, let's say you have a plumbing service, and somebody types in broken toilet repair, they'll have the user, when they click on the ad, get to a landing page, and instead of saying plumbing services, it'll say broken toilet repair services, which by in itself does actually increase the conversion rate, assuming, there's a big if here, assuming that what the user typed in isn't a garbled mess of rambled bullshit that most people type in when they're using Google. On the surface, to somebody who doesn't have a lot of marketing knowledge or experience, I should say, or hasn't tried doing it before, they would not realize that, or think about it anyway, that most people, when they type for broken toilet repair, they type in Google or they'll type in like, what's the best company to hire in Dallas for broken toilet repair? Well, naturally, that's not going to fit in a nice, defined spot in a headline on a landing page too easily. The people that do dynamic headline or dynamic, as they call it, dynamic keyword insertion on a headline on a landing page like that, they assume that everything someone types in is a nice short keyword, and it would work if that was the case, but people don't search that way, and therefore what you get is an unpredictable result on your headline because people a lot of times just type in full sentences or whatnot. Or just type nonsensically, let alone type in the wrong misspelling on a word. If they spell it wrong, which it's not that they don't know how to spell. A lot of times they just type it in so quickly they don't give a shit because they know Google will know what they are meaning to say in the first place, and then that misspelling goes onto the landing page headline. Then the user, guess what? They get to that landing page and they say, oh, well, what the hell? Misspelling? I don't trust this company at all now. And it actually works against you versus actually helps you seeing a misspelled word in the headline. So if you actually try dynamic headline or dynamic keyword insertion into a headline of a landing page, make your landing page dynamic, you would know all of this. And therefore, you'd be better off, by the way, making a handwritten landing page so that targeting anything to do with broken toilet repair, you had a headline that talked about broken toilet repair, but you handwritten that headline, and it wouldn't be as customized as to take every variation of broken toilet repair and put it into the headline, but at least you would get a predictable result each time, and that's going to get you far more results than using a dynamically inserted keyword. The headline's dynamically inserted into the headline just due to how unpredictable the whole thing is ultimately. So, well, dynamic headlines and landing keyword insertion in headlines does work poorly. You'll make a lot more results just handwriting the damn headline, targeting 500 keywords separately, having 500 different landing pages so that the headline can be customized pretty closely to the keyword at hand, and that's the way to basically go. But that's just one version, like I said, of doing dynamic landing pages. Okay, there's a much more detailed way that you can go and do this and get much more results with having a landing page be dynamically created based upon what you can know about that user, so that different people can see different versions of the landing page to increase your results coming out of PPC ads, specifically Google search ads. So with this said, okay, you can change the body text of a landing page based upon what you know about that user, okay? Based upon what problem that user was with the debt consolidation company we work with. You know, there's different people who have a problem. They just had a bankruptcy, or they were just recently specifically sued, or they had a lien placed against them. And based upon what we knew about that user, we could put that into the body text of the landing page to get a bump in conversion rate out of it. In other cases, we can say we can cater the solution we're offering based upon what we know about that user. So if we know that person got a lien, if you will, now we could say, hey, we know you got a lien. Yes, that's one way to customize, but we could say we have a lien solution service, so to say. So not only we could, if we don't want to be creepy, we don't have to say anything about them knowing they have a lien. But we could say, in other words, if a person's coming to Google to type in, you're basically debt consolidation services, right? We can have them come to a landing page where we actually say we have a lien. One of the greatest problems that a person has when they typically are going to inquire about a debt consolidation service is lien removal, and then going to that right away, knowing that that's basically what they're going to be asking about, putting that as the forefront of our copy on our landing page, and therefore getting at least 3 times as much conversion rate out of the same traffic you could come from the page from that keyword, debt consolidation services. So in other words, based upon understanding why a person's searching for a keyword like debt consolidation service, we can get 3 to 10 times the amount of business off of that keyword if we just know why they're searching for it beforehand. And there's a very specific way to know why a person's searching for a keyword in your space, because you obviously have to, because I know what you're saying right away. Well, how the hell do you know why they're searching for a keyword? And that is, if you're in a certain space like debt consolidation, if there's a lot of times what you can do based upon public record, like in that particular case, you can understand when somebody has a lien placed against them, there's certain things in the court records that you can get access to, and then therefore, all the people that had a lien placed against them in the last, let's say, 30 days, from there you could take those people and target them individually on Google Ads, so they know when they come through Google search, you already know that they've had a lien placed against them. Therefore, your landing page now can target them on that level, about knowing them about why they're likely to have searched for a debt consolidation service, if you will. So, in other words, we know the person had a lien, right? We're going to target all the people searching for debt consolidation services on Google. But what we're ultimately doing here is we're targeting any people that have a lien that also search for debt consolidation services, so that we know to start talking about liens when they get to our landing page versus just talking about debt consolidation services as a whole. Or if they've had a judgment applied to them, we can start talking about judgments right away in our landing page when they get to our landing page, because we know that about them beforehand. And how this strategy actually works is like this. What you do is you get your access to a data feed. Okay, there's data sources out there, data brokers, where you could, if you want to know every single person who's had a lien placed against them in the last 30 days, you can get that. That's very simple to get. Okay, they'll give you the name of the person and what their address is, what their email address is, what their cell phone number is, so on and so forth. Okay, with that, just by having their address, okay, you could set up a 1 kilometer radius campaign of where that person's address is. So like in the example that I gave, where we're going to target all the people that had a lien in the last 30 days, so that if they come through Google typing in debt consolidation services, we'll have a lien targeted landing page show up for them. So we'll get a super high conversion rate from that person if they come through and type in debt consolidation services. Okay? So the goal being, we'll target every keyword related to debt consolidation services, and therefore our ads will show up for any person that's within 1 kilometer radius of the person that we now know has the lien, if that makes sense. So practically speaking, because we know within a 1 kilometer radius, so in other words, because we know exactly where that person is, we can deduct that anybody within 1 kilometer radius searching for our keywords, it's that specific person searching, of which we know has a lien against them. Therefore, our landing page can talk about the lien right away, if you will. And so what you do with this is you create your landing page knowing about what that person has the lien or has whatever it is that you're trying to target here. And then you have a campaign set up for 30 days, because as soon as a person has a lien, they're going to probably within 30 days search for debt consolidation service. If they don't search for debt consolidation services, you shut off that campaign. If they do obviously search for debt consolidation services in the last 30 days, what they get is a customized landing page. Okay? And then, I know what you're saying, this sounds like a ridiculous amount of work, and it is. But if you test this out and you realize that your conversion rates are going to be 10 times higher than anybody else's conversion rates, that is from click to lead, and therefore the number of sales you get for the same amount of clicks, and you do it on a small scale basis with 1,000 people, and you realize how profitable it is, you can actually automate the entire system like we did with this particular client. That is, through the Google Ads API itself, you can have it so that your data, you're going to the data broker, you get a list of all the people that had a lien placed against them in the last 30 days. All those people, you create a campaign 1 kilometer around every one of those people on that list addresses, targeting the same keywords that you always target. And so if anybody now searches for a debt consolidation company within a 1 kilometer of all those people that had a lien placed on them in the last 30 days, your ad will show up. And if it doesn't, it won't. And therefore, you can have a really customized landing page for the person now, because you've set yourself up to understand that all the people that had a lien that are interested in debt consolidation services, that they are of that type, if you will, so you can speak directly to them, talking about the lien on the landing page, and getting the 10x increase in conversion rate you're going to get by doing that. And therefore, your campaign's way more profitable than anybody else can run it in the space. And so that is, in a nutshell, how you can do dynamic landing page insertion on the actual process of what you go through, okay? So naturally, that's just one way to do it. Another way to do this, okay, would be to target people using customer match lists. So you could actually go to data brokers and say, I want to target every single person who has bought a hotel room within the last 30 days, okay, naturally. And with that, you can get that email list or cell phone number list from that data broker for all the people who bought a hotel, let's say on Coney Island, in the last 30 days, okay? You take that list, you upload it to Google. And then from there, what do you do? What you do is you target your keywords for your tour services, okay? So if they type in Coney Island tour services or whatnot there, you want not just anybody who searches for that particular keyword to see your ad, but anybody who's on your email list to see your ad. What you do is under the audience menu of your search campaigns, you add that email list and you add a plus 900% bid adjustment, and then you put your cost per click on your keyword menu on each keyword to be minus 900%. So effectively, your ad will only have high enough bids to show if they're on that email list, okay? Which puts you in position now, based upon your ads only showing up for the person that's on that email list that you gave Google, to understand something about those users who are searching for that particular keyword, so that your landing page can be dynamically, if you will, changed and customized to the users based upon what you know about the person on your list or people on your list. So, and where this comes in handy is in that situation that I explained to you. If somebody has booked a particular hotel at a high-end hotel on Coney Island, that's the type of person that I want to do a tour, because instead of getting a cheap car, they're going to want an expensive van and probably multiple of them. They're going to want the blue ribbon package. That person's worth 10 times as much as anybody else. Therefore, the expensive cost per click and that it's bid up really high from all our competition, I can actually make the ad spend make sense for our business in that particular case, and at the very least, I want as many of those people as I can get. I can get an abnormally high return, understanding that they recently booked one of the high-end resorts on the island. Therefore, if they are coming through Google and they want to search for a tour service, I'm going to make sure I'm going to show up there. And specifically, when they get to the landing page, I could talk about how the service is so high-end. Whereas that landing page would not convert very well. Talking about how high-end we are, because it would scare people off in terms of the perceived cost, or what it would cost. Where the high-end people, it's exactly what they want to hear. They don't want cheap. They want the best. So that's another way to do dynamic landing pages, if you will, understanding something about a user that your competition's not going to know about the users coming through, and therefore be able to speak to them on a micro level so that you get super high conversion rates on that traffic for keywords in your niche market. So with that said, in the debt consolidation space, okay, we're getting over 10-to-1 returns or over 1,000% return on investment doing what I just talked about. Specifically, getting access to a data feed of people who had a lien, had a judgment against them, being able to target people nationally in the debt nationally, USA-wide, and then targeting keywords in the debt consolidation space, given it's a super competitive space, and being able to make that kind of returns from it, and then legitimately not even focusing on any of the other people that are coming through typing in debt consolidation services on Google anymore, and just focusing on the people that have a lien. Why? Not because they're worth necessarily more than anybody else, like I mentioned with the vacation resort or the tour company example, but because we could speak to them on such a refined level on that landing page that they now become super profitable to us. So there can be different reasons why you do it, namely to get access to as many of the high value prospects as you can, knowing what they bought, for instance, or it's just to get people that you understand why they would buy, and so you could speak to them on a high level so that your return that wouldn't be that necessarily that great coming from Google search ads becomes super high ROI customers for you ultimately. So those are some different scenarios of what we've done in the past, and ultimately what you can do for your business as well in terms of using dynamic landing pages, if you will. So the word, by the way, dynamic landing pages is kind of a misnomer because what we're doing is not necessarily dynamic. What we're doing is we're creating static landing pages for different users based upon us knowing things about the user that's coming through so we can speak to them on a user level instead of on an aggregate level based upon what they're typing in. And therefore getting much higher conversion rates and therefore much higher ROI than we so-called deserve, because everybody else that doesn't know as much about the users coming through as we do aren't going to get the same level of response that we do from our ads. As a secondary point of reference, by the way, the same thing could be applied to display ads. If you want to do the same thing, running Google display ads, okay, if you will, you could do the same thing. Targeting people within a 1 kilometer radius, if you will, would be one crude way of doing it. But even without that, for the debt consolidation company, understanding all the people that had a lien placed on them in the last 30 days, we can have a specific landing page show up for them. But, basically speaking, now at that point, all we're doing was we're just doing basic list-based targeting versus on this Google search example that I gave you initially starting out. This is actually, yes, doing list-based marketing or targeting, so to say, so we can speak to users on an individual level, but doing that when they're actually actively out there searching for a service like ours, so that when they come through, we can talk to them. They think they hit the jackpot because we're speaking to them on their own individual level, but effectively tricking them because they don't really know that we know that they had a lien, if you will. So therefore, it becomes even more effective because naturally, if you start talking about how have you had a lien placed against you and you just have, that's going to seem kind of weird and offsetting and kind of creepy, to be honest. Whereas if you were on Google search and you were searching for a debt relief company, and then you get to a landing page that talks about liens, you have no clue that you were effectively hyper-targeted. And therefore, the hyper-targeting becomes super effective. You have your guard down. Versus if you're normally when you do hyper-targeting when you're running like an ad that shows up for somebody randomly, it's going to seem creepy, and therefore it's just not going to work as much as if they did not understand that you were able to hyper-target them. And it was just natural, and it was fate, if you will, that they found a service that caters so well to their exact individual needs. So anyway, with that said, I pretty much mentioned as much as I can about these couple of different examples of different markets we worked in, how to do this, dynamic landing pages effectively, and make your landing pages work off the principle of customization, like direct mail pieces work, and like emails work as well, being able to customize parts of an email based upon what traits a user has, and work off the same principle that gets these other channels to work extremely well, and for the most part, just gets them to work in general. If you have any questions about anything I covered here today, you can leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. You can ask me any ad-related question you'd like, by the way. I am more than happy to answer any questions you guys have, as I love to be able to get back to my viewers just as a way to say thank you for watching the channel and helping us grow. As a side, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you should darn well do that, because this channel that is giving you information information straight from the source on somebody who manages dozens of ad accounts on an ongoing basis for the clients at our firm. The information you're going to find on YouTube and elsewhere online is going to be secondhand information from people who sell courses, don't really do ad strategy, or just regurgitating information from Google and whatnot. If you are serious about making money online, millions of dollars of business, making millions of dollars in sales for your business, running ads for your business, this is the channel to subscribe to, and you should subscribe to it now. Furthermore, if you want to find excellent information about how to make millions of dollars with your ads, you can also find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can find step-by-step instructions on how to set up campaigns like the one I mentioned on today's video. And whereas we talk more on the high level on this channel about what to do specifically, this gives you step-by-step with screenshots, and everything else gives you turnkey ways to make tons of money with running ads for your business, templated out that will work for you. So if you like the blog, or excuse me, if you like the channel, you're going to love the blog even more. As a side, mentioned, I run an ad agency here, Guarantee PPC. What we do is we guarantee, literally speaking, people's results on the campaigns that we work on. That is, if we cannot make our client more profit than you are or have already been making with your campaigns that you're running as before, we do not charge a fee ever. That is, when we're the only agency out there doing anything like that. The only catch is that we got to know we can get great results with the campaign up front, so we can actually make you money in addition or in excess of what we charge as far as an actual fee. But if you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be more than happy to give you a free assessment. I'll look at what you're doing and see if it is possible for us to work together, and then if so, how much results we can bring for you on your current campaigns that you're running, or a new one even that you plan on potentially running in the future. As a side, if you're not looking to work with an ad agency, many people aren't, I understand that. We have templates that already work, ad templates, campaign templates that already work for 100 different niche markets that we've worked in the last 10 years. If we worked in your niche market before, you should just use the winning version of what we developed in your market already. Copy and paste what we've developed for it into your ad account so you can get all the results that we've gotten without spending the hundreds, if not millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of ad spend to figure out what works the best in your market. There's no way you're going to save more money than what we charge for our templates, doing this kind of stuff for yourself, because we went through all the testing and trial and error to figure out what works. So you should just use ultimately what we found of what works for your market. So anyway, if you're interested in that, you could also reach out to us at guaranteedppc.com. We'll let you know what results we've got in your market, if we worked in your market. As a side, we've got people who use these templates to start other businesses entirely. If you want to get into e-commerce and you're not in it now, just use one of our templates that work to sell a product that you can easily source from China. As long as you're in a different country than our current client, you can use it. It's fair game. Or if you want to start a lead generation business, which we've got several people that have done now, you can take templates that generate leads at a rock bottom cost for a certain niche, use it in your city, your state, your country, sell leads, and have a passive income business already going for your business. So anyway, if you're interested in that type of opportunity, you can also reach out to me at Guarantee PPC. But with that, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.